Good day everyone. We are Group 5 of A41 Project Invasive, and today we will talk about the carbon cycle, one of the biogeochemical cycles that function in the Earth. So, to start off, we would first discuss what are the biogeochemical cycles and what they do. The word biogeochemical comes from the words biology, geology, and chemical. When combined together, they form the word biogeochemical. The biogeochemical cycle is the cyclic transfer of substances using the Earth's different spheres. The example of this are water cycle, oxygen cycle, sedimentary cycle, nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycle, and carbon cycles. For this video, we would focus on one of the biogeochemical cycle, more specifically the carbon cycle. The carbon cycle is defined as the method wherein carbon atoms recurrently travel from the atmosphere, then to the Earth, and then back to the atmosphere. It is one of the chemical backbones for all life on Earth. Surprisingly, the amount of carbon in the Earth has never changed, although the amount at a certain place changes to the time spent in staying at that specific reservoir.
So, where can we find carbon and how are they used? Carbon is present in the atmosphere, which is essential for the photosynthesis of plants. Animals would then devour these plants, in which they would take the carbon dioxide that these plants have. From dying organisms, carbon would also be released into the atmosphere. Others that would not be released into the atmosphere would eventually turn into fossil fuels. Then these fossil fuels are then consumed by humans, and when they do, they turn back to the atmosphere as carbon. Human activities with carbon currently have a great effect towards the carbon cycle. These activities resulted in the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing due to that. With more carbon dioxide in circulation, the ocean ends up taking in much more carbon dioxide, resulting in a process called ocean acidification. Ocean acidification lowers the pH level of the ocean, which in turn affects the living conditions of marine organisms. Furthermore, faunas are also affected by the change in the carbon amount in the earth. Fauna is the terminology used for all the existing animal life in a specific time period or a specific region. These faunas depend on the flora, or the existing plants for a specific time period or a specific region, for the means of a food source. With the increasing carbon in the atmosphere, it contributes negatively towards the global warming and climate change in the world.
Global warming and climate change is forcing the faunas to migrate towards different regions. When they do, they need to adapt towards the different conditions presented by the new place. Therefore, those that fail to adapt would result in their deaths. Potential extinctions due to the various chain of events triggered by global warming and climate change could break the balance that the world has, with the worst case scenarios of food webs and ecosystems breaking. We need to put an emphasis on the transactions that occur because of global warming. People might not see or feel the direct effects of these transactions, but in the long run, humans will be the ones who face the consequences of their own actions. We must learn to preserve, to prevent the different ecosystems from breaking down. With the carbon cycle, people need to lessen their consumption of fossil fuels and carbon production so that the continued global warming of the world would decrease its severity. Only with proper care for our environment will we be able to avoid destruction of our environment and the different ecosystems of the world.